Hey everyone, let's talk about the Spanish Empire. When you hear that name, you probably think of conquistadors, tons of gold, and huge amounts of land. The Spanish Empire was one of the largest empires in history, spanning continents and influencing countless cultures. It wasn't just about the riches they amassed or the territories they claimed, it was also about the profound impact they had on the world. But there's so much more to it than just taking over other places. The Spanish Empire was a complex and multifaceted entity. It was a story of ambition, exploration, and unfortunately, exploitation. The empire's reach extended far beyond Europe, touching the Americas, Asia, and Africa. This vast network of territories brought together a diverse array of cultures, languages, and traditions. It's a really interesting story of exploration, unfortunately also exploitation and how different cultures mix together. The Spanish explorers, driven by a thirst for adventure and wealth, embarked on perilous journeys across uncharted waters. They encountered new lands and peoples, leading to a complex interplay of cultural exchange and conflict. The legacy of these interactions can still be seen today in the languages, religions, and customs of many countries. Spain's rise to power started way back in the 1400s. This was a time of great change and upheaval in Europe. The marriage of Ferdinand II of Aragon and Isabella I of Castile in 1469 was a pivotal moment. Their union not only brought together two powerful kingdoms, but also laid the foundation for a unified Spain. King Ferdinand of Aragon and Queen Isabella of Castile got married, and that united most of what we now call Spain. This union was crucial because it provided the political stability and resources needed for Spain to embark on its ambitious projects of exploration and conquest. This unity was super important because it allowed Spain to start expanding its territory. With a strong and unified kingdom, Spain was able to focus its efforts on exploring new lands and establishing colonies. The support of the monarchy was instrumental in funding and organizing these expeditions. For hundreds of years before this, Spain had been fighting the Moors, Muslims who had ruled parts of Spain. This long and arduous conflict, known as the Reconquista, was a defining period in Spanish history. It shaped the Spanish identity and instilled a strong sense of religious fervor and military prowess. This long fight, called the Reconquista, made the Spanish people very religious and really good at fighting. The experience gained from these battles honed their skills and prepared them for future conflicts and conquests. The Reconquista also reinforced the importance of Catholicism in Spanish society, which would later play a significant role in their colonial endeavors. So, Spain was ready to start exploring and conquering new lands. The stage was set for an era of unprecedented exploration and expansion. Spanish explorers, such as Christopher Columbus, set sail across the Atlantic, leading to the discovery of the New World and the establishment of vast colonial empires. They had no idea how much their actions would change the world. The Spanish Empire's legacy is a testament to the far-reaching consequences of exploration and conquest. It reshaped the global landscape, leaving an indelible mark on history that continues to influence our world today. In 1492, Christopher Columbus, with money from the Spanish king and queen, sailed west across the Atlantic Ocean. This journey was a bold and risky venture, driven by the desire to find new trade routes and expand the influence of Spain. Columbus was convinced that by sailing west he could find a faster and more direct route to the rich markets of the East Indies, which were known for their spices, silk, and other valuable goods. He was trying to find a faster way to get to the East Indies. The traditional routes were long and perilous, often controlled by rival powers and fraught with dangers. Columbus believed that by charting a new course, he could bypass these obstacles and open up a lucrative new path for trade. But instead, he found the Americas. This unexpected discovery was monumental, as it revealed a vast and previously unknown landmass that would change the course of history. Europeans had no idea this land even existed. The revelation of the Americas challenged existing geographical knowledge and sparked a wave of curiosity and exploration. This discovery was a huge deal, and it started a period of European colonization in the Americas. Nations scrambled to claim territories, establish colonies, and exploit the newfound resources. Spanish conquistadors wanting gold and glory followed Columbus. They were driven by the promise of wealth and the desire to expand Spanish influence. Hernán Cortés conquered the Aztec Empire in Mexico, a feat that required cunning, alliances with local tribes, and brutal warfare. And Francisco Pizarro took over the Inca Empire in Peru. His conquest was marked by treachery, battles, and the capture of the Inca emperor. These conquests made Spain super rich, bringing in tons of gold, silver, and other valuable stuff. The wealth extracted from the Americas fueled Spain's dominance in Europe and funded further expeditions. But Spain didn't stop there. They continued to expand their empire, seeking new lands and opportunities. They set up trading posts and colonies in Africa, Asia, and even Oceania. This global network allowed Spain to control key trade routes and access a variety of goods from different parts of the world. The Philippines, named after King Philip II of Spain, became a really important part of Spain's trade network, connecting Asia to the Americas. This strategic location allowed Spain to facilitate the exchange of goods, culture, and ideas across vast distances, solidifying their influence in the region. By the 1500s, Spain was the most powerful empire in the entire world. Its influence and reach were unparalleled, stretching across vast oceans and continents. Their land stretched all the way from the Americas to the Philippines. This immense territory included rich and diverse lands, each contributing to the empire's wealth and power. During the time of King Philip II, Spain got the nickname, "the empire on which the sun never sets." This phrase symbolized the vastness of their empire, where the sun was always shining on at least one part of their territories. This was because their land was so spread out that there was always a part of it in daylight. The empire's expanse was so great that it spanned multiple time zones, ensuring perpetual daylight somewhere within its borders. King Philip II was a very religious Catholic, and he believed Spain should protect the Catholic faith. His reign was marked by a strong commitment to Catholicism, influencing his policies and actions. He fought wars against Protestants in Europe and against the Ottoman Empire in the Mediterranean Sea. These conflicts were driven by his desire to defend and spread Catholicism, often leading to prolonged and costly wars. His reign was when Spain was at its most powerful, but it was also the start of Spain's decline. Despite the empire's vast wealth and power, the constant warfare and overextension began to take a toll. The Spanish Armada, a huge fleet of warships sent to attack England in 1588, was defeated. This defeat was a significant blow to Spain's naval dominance and marked a turning point in European power dynamics. This was a big turning point, and it showed that Spain wasn't unbeatable at sea anymore. The loss of the Armada signaled the beginning of the end for Spain's dominance, as other European powers began to rise and challenge its supremacy. Spain's power came at a terrible cost. Conquering the Americas was brutal. There was a lot of violence, disease, and unfair treatment. Native people started dying in huge numbers because of European diseases like smallpox and measles. They had no protection against these new illnesses. The Spanish forced the native people to work for them in a system called the encomienda system. This system was supposed to help Spain get resources and wealth, but it was really cruel and unfair to the native people. Their traditional ways of life were destroyed and their cultures were suppressed. Then, the transatlantic slave trade brought millions of Africans to the Americas as slaves, making things even worse. The Spanish wanted wealth and power so badly that they created a system of exploitation and oppression that hurt people for generations. Spain's empire didn't fall apart all at once. It happened slowly for several reasons. All the wars they fought because of their religious beliefs and wanting more land used up a lot of Spain's money and resources. All the gold and silver coming in from the Americas actually caused prices to go up, which hurt the Spanish economy. People in the Spanish colonies started to rebel and fight for their freedom. The Latin American Wars of Independence, inspired by the idea that everyone should be free and equal, led to the end of Spanish rule in the Americas. Then, a really bad war in Europe called the 30 Years' War weakened Spain even more. By the 1800s, the Spanish Empire had lost almost all of its land overseas. The once great empire was much smaller and weaker. The Spanish Empire left a complicated legacy. On one hand, Spain had a huge impact on the world, changing cultures, languages, and traditions. Spanish is one of the most spoken languages today, which shows how big of an influence they had. Spanish art, architecture, and literature were amazing during the Golden Age, and we still enjoy them today. The Catholic religion, spread by Spanish missionaries, became very important in many parts of the world. Universities started by the Spanish in the Americas became important centers of learning. But this legacy also includes the bad things that happened. The exploitation of native people, the slave trade, and the destruction of native cultures are terrible parts of the story that we can't forget. The Spanish Empire, just like other empires, was a product of its time, shaped by its unique circumstances. It was driven by ambition, greed, and strong religious beliefs, things that have always been a part of human history and continue to influence us. It's important to understand the Spanish Empire, both the good and the bad, to understand the world we live in today and its complexities. History isn't simple. It's a mix of human experiences, some good and some bad, intertwined over time. By learning about the past, we can learn from mistakes and try to make a better future for everyone.